Chunlei, who is considered important by his tribe, believes that his power is a gift from God, and that the arrival of people with other powers is an opportunity to strengthen himself. He decides to hunt that person with the full support of the tribal elders, who entrust the future of the tribe to him. Meanwhile, Zhang Yi and He arrive at the hideout. He Mei feels sad because she has to survive by belonging to someone she doesn't know. It turns out, Yukir welcomes Zhang Yi, but feels awkward when he sees He Mei, thinking that Zhang Yi is interested in an older woman. Zhang Wei explains that He Mei came to see Uncle Yu, not him. Zhang Yi asks about Uncle Yu's condition, who recovered faster than usual. He previously asked Yukir to give him a sedative, but now feels that Uncle Yu is ready to be discharged. Zhang Yi knows it's important to maintain a good relationship with Uncle Yu to be stronger against threats from other people with powers. Uncle Yu appears healthy and grateful. He felt Zhang Yi had saved his life, and Zhang Yi looked more handsome than before. Uncle Yu feels much stronger and tries to prove it by pressing down on the bed, almost breaking it. Zhang Yi asks Uncle Yu to calm down and explains that his new strength is like the transformation from a tadpole into an adult frog. Zhang Yi also shows his own power and explains the reason for the large food supplies. Getting too excited, Uncle Yu hits the bed until it breaks. However, he assures Zhang Yi that he just needs time to adjust. Zhang Yi then introduces He Mei, whom Uncle Yu recognizes with a smile. Zhang Wei explains that this house will be their home together, while he and Yukir will move out. Zhang Yi also gives a snowmobile as a gift to help Uncle Yu find food. Although at first he felt it was too valuable, Uncle Yu finally accepted it after seeing Zhang Yi's advanced snowmobile. Everyone who witnessed it was surprised. They became more aware of Zhang Yi's power and secrets. Zhang Yi and Yukir accepted it. They headed to their new home by car. On the way, Yukir asked about their new home, and Zhang Yi said the house was spacious and comfortable, much better than their old apartment. Zhang Yi said that there were other people in the house to help with daily chores, which at first made Yukir jealous. However, after being assured that he was still the only one in Zhang Yi's heart, Yukir became calm and happy. On their journey, they encountered a snowstorm that turned into a tornado. Zhang Wei used his ability to absorb the tornado. First, he sent it into another dimension. However, a second tornado appeared, and Zhang Yi realized the presence of someone with powers. Realizing the threat, Zhang Yi decided to turn back and get away from there. Snow tornadoes kept appearing, and Zhang Yi absorbed them all using his storage power. Chunlei, who was involved in this attack, began to feel exhausted after a series of energy-draining attacks. Although he claimed he could still go on, Chunlei needed time to recover. His group waited. After making sure of his strength, their opponent, Zhang Yi, stopped his car and took a rifle from his storage. He concluded that his opponent was exhausted, so this was the right time to strike back. Zhang Yi got out of the car and fired toward the snow pile, injuring one of his opponents in the leg. Only 2 people remained. Chunlei was confused about how Zhang Yi could find them while they were hiding, but Zhang Yi kept shooting non-stop. Chunlei tried to attack again with a tornado, but Zhang Yi easily neutralized it. Even though Chunlei had given it his all, his attacks were ineffective. Zhang Yi demonstrated the superiority of his strength, leaving his opponents speechless. However, Zhang Yi realized that continuing the fight there could endanger Yukir. He challenged them to chase after him. By declaring that the next battle would take place in his own territory, Zhang Yi returned to the car, and Yukir quickly calmed down. Although he asked if Zhang Yi had killed all the enemies, Zhang Yi explained that they were still alive, which means there is a possibility of revenge in the future. Yukir already understood Zhang Yi's habits, so this did not surprise him. They continued their journey, leaving behind defeated but surviving opponents. Inside the shelter, Yang Mi, the red-haired girl, was resting while waiting for Zhang Yi. When Zhang Yi arrived, he asked her to get ready to meet a new friend. Although Yang Mi asked if the new friend was his fiancé, Zhang Yi just gave her new clothes and asked her to come downstairs. Yang Mi put on the clothes, dressed up, and got ready to meet her rival. Zhang Yi looked excited, followed by the red-haired girl behind him. When Yang Mi and Yukir saw each other, both looked surprised. Yukir cried, approaching Yang Mi with an upset expression, as if ready to argue. However, Zhang Yi quickly intervened and asked if they already knew each other. Yukir revealed that Yang Mi was her cousin. This surprised Zhang Yi, who then tried to ease the tension. Yang Mi asked that their relationship be kept from Yukir. But Zhang Yi questioned whether the relationship really existed or was just a temporary agreement. Yukir expressed his dislike for Yang Mi because he felt their family name was tarnished due to Yang Mi's decision to work in the entertainment industry. In addition, Yang Mi's poor acting skills further damaged the family's reputation. Yukir felt that Yang Mi's appearance, which was used as a promotional tool, was considered vulgar and made them the subject of ridicule. Zhang Yi mediated, stating that the past is over, and now they have to live in harmony. Zhang Yi then introduced their new house, as well as each person's responsibilities. When they saw the plant cultivation room, Yukir and Yang Mi were excited to take care of it. Yang Mi thanked Zhang Yi for keeping her secret and suggested that they keep their relationship a secret. Zhang Yi agreed, but deep down, he was confused about how to manage their relationship as a trio. As a token of gratitude, Yang Mi offered to cook. However, when he checked the kitchen, he found that the food supplies were empty. As Yang Mi was looking for ingredients, Zhang Yi approached and whispered in her ear, making her blush and wonder what Zhang Yi was up to. Zhang Yi ignored her anxiety and took ingredients from the dimensional storage, explaining that this would be how they would eat from now on. Even though Yang Mi already knew about Zhang Yi's powers, she was still impressed. After that, Zhang Yi patted Yang Mi's back and eagerly waited for the food to be ready. When the food was ready, Yang Mi called everyone to eat. Zhang Yi and Yukir came over. Yukir tasted it first and found the food too salty. Yang Mi felt embarrassed and admitted she had trouble focusing because so much was happening. Seeing the tension between the cousins, Zhang Yi decided to approach Yukir with a man's affection. He gave Yukir more food and made him smile happily, looking proud in front of his cousin. Even though Yang Mi pretended not to care, she still showed concern. While lying in bed, Yukir asked who was better between them. Zhang Yi stroked his head and said that Yukir was more important because he was Zhang Yi's personal doctor and also the most beautiful. Zhang Yi kissed Yukir's forehead and hugged him before they went to sleep. In that sweet moment, Zhang Yi reflected that love was just a trivial thing. What mattered most was his own interests. In the following days, Zhang Yi continued to practice archery. Suddenly, his phone rang, but he rejected the call and blocked the number. Not long after, the same number called again, making him angry. After blocking it once more, the calls still kept coming. Finally, his phone answered automatically, and someone on the other end revealed that they knew a lot of Zhang Yi's personal information, including his date of birth and other details. The person even knew about his house and threatened to spread the information if Zhang Yi did not meet his demands, which were to provide food, clothing, and drinks. Zhang Yi tried to convince the person that the information was not important. However, the caller, who was a hacker, claimed to have evidence that Zhang Yi had stolen from the city warehouse. He also threatened to tell the people in power in the city if Zhang Yi did not follow his orders, putting Zhang Yi in danger. Zhang Yi realized this. The hacker has probably already taken over his home's security system. Although angry, Zhang Yi listened to the hacker's demands, who wanted a certain item delivered to his address at Villa 302. If Zhang Yi tries to avoid it, he will spread all that information. After the call ended, Zhang Yi felt very angry and told Yukir about the threats he had received and how his location and personal information had been exposed. Zhang Yi and Yukir now feel threatened. Yukir revealed that gossip about famous people is often unreliable. However, when it comes to specific information about ordinary people, this hacker poses a serious threat. Zhang Yi said he wanted to eliminate him immediately. He still worries their data might be leaked, even if the hacker is stopped. Yukir tried to find a solution and recalled that tech companies once hired people to eliminate hackers and prevent data leaks, but they always left loopholes to make sure information could be leaked if something happened. Zhang Yi realized that this hacker must have taken similar steps, so killing him wouldn't be enough. Yukir suggested taking a short break, but Zhang Yi felt that this problem couldn't be postponed. When Yang Mi passed by his room on the way to the cultivation room, Zhang Yi explained the problem and asked for her opinion. Yang Mi said that this is similar to how people often spread rumors about famous people on the internet. Zhang Yi suddenly got an idea. He thought about spreading a lot of false information so that it would be considered just a rumor. When Yukir and Yang Mi were confused, Zhang Yi explained that he would prepare everything first before explaining his plan further. While in the control room, Zhang Yi answered and received a call from a hacker who asked if Zhang Yi had prepared what he asked for. Angrily, Zhang Yi threatened to kill him if it weren't for the information he had. The hacker laughed and warned that if anything happened to him, Zhang Yi's information would be sent to every phone in the city within 24 hours. Zhang Yi realized he only had 24 hours to act. He then decided to cooperate with the hacker and ended the call. The plan was to spread rumors about a theft at the city warehouse through all channels so that the truth would be buried in lies and no one would believe it. After that, Zhang Yi got ready, grabbed his backpack, and said it was time to take out the trash again. Zhang Yi placed the backpack at the designated spot and moved as far away as possible. He hid behind a tree with his rifle, aiming at the spot where his target would pass. Zhang Yi sent a message to the hacker saying that he had delivered what was promised and had already left. However, after waiting for quite a while, there was no reply and no one showed up to take the bag. After considering contacting the hacker or sending a message to ask if the bag had been picked up, Zhang Yi decided not to do so to avoid raising further suspicion. Time passed, and finally, the door opened. Someone appeared to take the bag. Zhang Yi fired with a determination he had never felt before. In an instant, the bullet pierced the man's head. Zhang Yi immediately moved to the location and made sure his enemy was finished off with a few additional shots. After that, Zhang Yi entered the house to search for items. Then he found a laptop. At first, he intended to destroy it. However, realizing that the laptop might contain important information, Zhang Yi decided to store it in his storage space. After that, he left the place. Zhang Yi went home and felt relieved. Yukir was the one cooking. And after eating, Zhang Yi asked about the messages on their phones. They showed messages about the theft at the Walmart warehouse. Zhang Yi revealed that he was the one who spread the false information so that the truth that might leak would be covered by lies. He had programmed the messages to be sent every day. Yang Mi was impressed with the idea, realizing that celebrities involved in scandals are often forgotten when there is a bigger issue. She praised Zhang Yi's intelligence. However, Yukir was worried about the risk of people still being able to find them despite the security system. Zhang Yi admitted that they would remain threatened for a long time. The technology still exists. Although anxious, the two girls believed Zhang Yi would find a way to deal with it. Zhang Yi was worried about the possibility of an attack without preparation. He was determined to strengthen the defenses around their place. He assured the two girls that he could ensure their safety, but they had to take action. Meanwhile, the red-haired girl looked embarrassed, and Zhang Yi felt that something was wrong. He patted the girl's head and explained that they would set a trap, not just rely on technology. Zhang Yi said that the bunker was ready for major threats, but not enough for human attacks. Therefore, they needed to prepare defenses to deal with intruders. The two girls were enthusiastic, ready to follow orders. Zhang Yi then took out nails and wood to make a trap. Zhang Yi and the two girls started making traps by hammering nails into boards and burying them in the snow. They also prepared other traps. However, Zhang Yi realized that the enemy might use tools to dig up the traps. Therefore, he decided to hide explosives around the trap area. If anyone tries to dig, they will be eliminated immediately. In addition, he also hid grenades with strings that would explode if someone pulled them. After working hard, they managed to strengthen the protection around the residence. All the traps were set up properly. When he returned home, Yang Mi asked when the intruders would come so she could see the traps in action. Zhang Yi replied that it would be better if they never had to use them. While sitting on the sofa, he added that anyone with common sense wouldn't try to attack a place filled with traps like that, especially when everyone was trying to avoid intruders. Zhang Yi installed a mechanical lock on the front door, in addition to the digital lock, to boost the house's security. Yang Mi felt that the decision to join Zhang Yi was the best one because her life was now safer and more enjoyable. Zhang Yi also thought that they needed a digital security expert. Yang Mi remembered Xin, her sister who was a genius in technology, but they hadn't heard from her again. Zhang Yi was quite interested in Xin, but he emphasized that there were more important things to face ahead. Zhang Yi spent several days training his new archery skills. which allowed him to improve his shooting precision and strengthen his attacks. After trying out the skill on himself, he felt almost invincible. However, he realized that powerful abilities also drained his body's energy. Because he had plenty of food supplies for energy, Zhang Yi felt he could freely use his powers. In a separate location, the head of the facility managing the secret defense site was worried about the limited electricity supply at the military base, and his secretary came to deliver the latest analysis report. The secretary reported information about a robbery at the city's supply warehouse, with Zhang Yi mentioned as the main perpetrator. Although initially doubtful, the head of the military headquarters decided to investigate Zhang Yi. Meanwhile, in the castle in Shu village, Chun Lei, who was defeated by Zhang Yi, felt hopeless. After hearing about Zhang Yi's involvement in the theft, Chun investigated and realized that Zhang Yi's ability to move objects into an alternate space might have been used to rob the warehouse. Feeling even weaker, Chun Lei backed down in despair. Chun Lei pondered, wondering if Zhang Yi was the protagonist of this world and he was just a supporting character. Realizing he couldn't defeat Zhang Yi, Chun decided to warn the villagers, especially his grandfather, about Zhang Yi's strength. He told how Zhang Yi overpowered his ability and was suspected of robbing the supply warehouse. However, his grandfather was actually motivated, thinking that if they could steal from Zhang Yi, they would be free from hunger. Although Chun felt it was dangerous, his grandfather underestimated Zhang Yi, considering him nothing more than an ordinary supervisor. Some time passed, and at Zhang Yi's house, the atmosphere was calm and comfortable. Zhang Yi was eating together with his wives. However, the peace was disturbed when Yang Mi heard a strange sound from the window. Zhang Yi remained calm and decided to check the source of the sound. He observed through the window using binoculars and saw many people approaching his house. With a sniper rifle in hand, he observed them more closely, intending to let the traps he had set do their work. One of them stepped on the first trap and felt excruciating pain. Another person called for help to carry him away. The tribal leader warned that there might be hidden traps around them and told everyone to be careful. The group began moving forward with sticks to search for traps. After a while, they managed to approach Zhang Yi's house and successfully avoided the traps with their sticks. However, when one of them tried to remove the trap, he crossed a grenade tripwire that had been set up. An explosion occurred, shaking the entire group. Even those who were not directly caught by the explosion were injured by the sharp fragments. The pain from the wounds made them roll on the ground, which triggered more bombs around them. After a series of explosions and traps, many were trapped or injured. Fear spread, and they began to retreat. They felt they couldn't fight Zhang Yi without the help of their leader's grandson, who had superpowers. Zhang Yi observed with his rifle and advanced equipment. The cornered tribe leader remembered his grandson's warning. However, he felt it was impossible to retreat. He shouted, challenging his men to fight on their own for the wealth in Zhang Yi's house. The leader gave binoculars to the men so they could see the food and treasures inside the house. Although tempted, they were still hesitant without the help of the leader's grandson. The leader became angry and threatened to consider them useless if they failed. With new motivation, they began using tactics to disable the traps and bombs from a distance. Slowly but surely, this strategy began to work, and they got closer to Zhang Yi's safe house. The men felt more confident that they were now safe. Meanwhile, Yang Mi and Yukir watched from the window, with Yang Mi feeling worried about the number of casualties and whether they would survive. Meanwhile, Yukir thought they were foolish for not realizing that they were no match for Zhang Yi. At the right moment, Zhang Yi triggered the bomb remotely, destroying all the traps at once. This controlled explosion killed most of his enemies and caused massive damage. Zhang Yi did not regret the deaths of dozens of his enemies because they should have retreated when they first realized there were traps. However, the impact of the destruction made Yukir, who was previously enthusiastic, feel pity. Meanwhile, Yang Mi felt nauseous after seeing what happened. On the other hand, the old leader collapsed to the ground, feeling hopeless and calling Zhang Yi an unjust demon. He regretted all the deaths caused by his orders. He only wanted to get supplies for his people. Zhang Yi then put away his rifle and switched to the bow and arrows he had trained with. With his new abilities, he shot 3 arrows at once. They hit 3 enemies precisely. The attack was followed by a series of other shots, all of which hit their targets and killed his enemies. The old leader, who witnessed everything, could only regret it and begged Zhang Yi to finish him off. However, before Zhang Yi could do it, Tornado S suddenly appeared and blocked his view. Zhang Yi switched his weapon to a rifle, which allowed him to attack from a greater distance. Chunlei ordered people to escape while keeping Tornado S active. People began to retreat, carrying the wounded. Meanwhile, Chun stayed behind. Zhang Yi remained calm and had another plan. He put on a protective vest and told his wife that he would be back soon. Chun felt confident that everything would be all right. However, a snowmobile came speeding in. Then, Zhang Yi was seen shooting from his car window at the attackers. The panicked attackers had no chance to escape. Even Chun's life was in danger. One of them helped Chun retreat with them. Zhang Yi chased after them using his car, getting closer and shooting again from his car window. Chunlei began to feel afraid that maybe no one would survive. He ordered them to leave behind the corpse they were carrying to be buried later, so they could move faster. Even though they were reluctant because burying the dead is an important tradition, they eventually followed his orders. They threw the corpse away, even though Zhang Yi had to avoid it. However, he still moved faster and accurately shot the enemy in the head. Chun now had to escape, feeling scared, and thought about doing something to stop Zhang Yi's car. He used his power to create cracks in the ground along the car's path. So the car's movement was hindered, causing it to get stuck in the ice. Zhang Yi kept shooting at the people who were escaping until they were too far away. He was sure that after this, they wouldn't dare to come back. Zhang Yi pulled his car out of the hole, passed by many bodies lying around, and returned to his house. When he got home, Zhang Yi noticed Yang Mi, who looked shocked by what had happened. Meanwhile, Yao Yukir remained calm and asked if Zhang Yi had managed to defeat the person with special powers. Zhang Wei explained that the person was clever and managed to escape along with a few others. Elsewhere, Chunlei returned to his village with several survivors. There, his tribe members began to judge him, blaming him for not getting involved in the battle from the beginning, which resulted in the deaths of many people. An elder reminded them that this was not the time to blame each other, and told Chunlei to see his grandfather. As he entered the house, the chief told him that the deaths of many tribe members should be his own responsibility, not Chunlei's. Chunlei's grandfather cried and said that he was tired and ready to die, then passed away. The villagers who heard the news came running, shocked by the loss of the leader they loved. Chunlei left his grandfather's house with a mind full of confusion, feeling unsure of how to take care of himself, let alone others. In the midst of his confusion, he met a girl who introduced herself as Chu Li. The girl thanked him, saying it was thanks to him. Her father survived the last battle. Chun felt awkward. However, he realized that he shouldn't blame himself for the death of others. In fact, he felt like a hero who had saved many people. After that brief meeting, he felt that something was different. He started thinking about a future together with that girl. After that, Chunlei returned home and began planning how to protect his village from Zhang Yi, whom he now considered a major threat. With renewed determination, he immediately devised a plan to protect the village and the people he cared about. Meanwhile, Zhang Yi was preparing a new trap to deal with those who tried to attack him, determined to resolve this issue once and for all. After working hard, Zhang Yi felt exhausted, and his two women came to help him relax. While he was resting, Zhang Yi's phone rang. He answered the phone and heard someone introducing herself as Chun from Shu village. Chun thanked Zhang Yi because of his help. She met the person she loved. Chun also wanted to make peace with Zhang Yi after learning that they had once tried to attack him. Zhang Yi asked if they realized that they would never be able to defeat him. Chun admitted his mistake and offered to do anything as a way of apologizing. Zhang Yi then asked who was speaking on behalf of Shu village and how Chunlei could prove that he represented the village. Chunlei revealed that he was the one with powers who had fought Zhang Yi twice before. Zhang Yi then agreed to make peace. However, he asked Chun to prove his worthiness by meeting in person. Chunlei refused, hoping to make peace without having to meet. However, Zhang Yi emphasized that if it wasn't done, Shu village would become his enemy. Zhang Yi gave Chunlei a deadline to come to his house at 2:30 p.m. After making the call, Zhang Yi didn't wait for an answer and immediately hung up the phone. Chunlei felt cornered and terrified, thinking that he would die without ever fully enjoying life. Meanwhile, Zhang Yi felt that with Chunlei's strength, he had great potential that could be used for his own purposes. After getting tired from preparing the trap, Zhang Yi rested in his room, while Yang Mi came to keep him company. Zhang Yi noticed Chunlei arriving alone. At first, he intended to get rid of her, but seeing Chun often stumble and fall, Zhang Yi began to doubt her threat and decided to talk. Chunlei contacted Zhang Yi, saying that she was trapped and asked Zhang Yi to come and meet her. After meeting, Chunlei introduced herself and stated her purpose for negotiating. Zhang Yi reminded her that the attack started from Chun's people who owed him a favor. Chunlei admitted it and apologized. Zhang Yi asked who ordered the attack, and Chunlei revealed that it was her late grandfather. Zhang Yi felt this was too easy and asked if Chunlei didn't want to take revenge. But Chunlei replied that she didn't feel like she'd lost anything. Her grandfather was the only person who meant anything to her, and the death of others didn't make her feel sad or vengeful because she lived in isolation. Chunlei expressed her admiration for Zhang Yi's ability to take on so many people. Zhang Wei emphasized that he had not forgiven their mistakes and asked Chun to work for him as the price of forgiveness. Although she wanted to thank him with a hug, Zhang Yi held her back and emphasized the rules that must be followed. Chun, with a lewd thought, asked if Zhang Yi wanted her body. However, Zhang Yi responded firmly, telling her to stop. Zhang Yi gave an action figure as a gift and promised protection for Chun's family if she worked for him. On the way to the location, Chun asked if the action figure could control time in the storage space, which made Zhang Yi think that his ability might be related to time manipulation. They finally arrived at the location where Chun's abilities would be tested. With his snow powers, Chunlei managed to clear the way to a gas station buried in snow after several minutes of hard effort. Zhang Yi saw great potential in Chun's powers, thinking that with those abilities, Chun could more easily obtain resources to store. As a reward, Zhang Yi gave him chocolate, realizing that a user's power depends on their energy. Zhang Yi went into the gas station to take all the supplies inside, and after some time, he came back. Chun praised Zhang Yi's ability, considering his power to be extraordinary because he could store anything, which is very useful right now. Zhang Yi then admitted that Chun also had great power, and that it had never occurred to him to use that power to dig up items buried in the snow. As they returned to the car, Chun stated that he had never thought about leaving his room before because he was busy with his personal life. As a reward for his hard work, Zhang Yi gave him a backpack full of food, which would be his gift for the day. Chun was very happy and promised to always follow Zhang Yi. On the way home, they started to become closer. Zhang Yi asked how Chun discovered his powers. Chun felt embarrassed and explained that after his parents passed away, he felt very sad and got lost in his own world of imagination and personal pleasure. One day, after indulging in his personal hobby more than 26 times, he felt like he was going to die. However, the next day, he woke up with a new power. Zhang Yi felt embarrassed hearing this. He couldn't believe someone could bounce back after almost dying from doing it that many times. Zhang Yi decided that Chunlei should return to her village alone because his car couldn't continue the journey over the frozen lake. Before leaving, Zhang Yi reminded Chun to be careful, considering there are many dangers in the post-apocalyptic world, including threats from the people around them. After Chun left, Zhang Yi thought that even though Chun was still young, she was a good person. When she arrived at the village, Chun was blamed by the new village leader for going alone to negotiate with Zhang Yi. Even though Chun claimed that the negotiation resulted in cooperation, not revenge, the village leader was angry. He blamed Chun for the many casualties and thought that Chun wanted to take advantage by building a relationship with the enemy in order to protect the village. Chun tried to explain that he promised his grandfather to protect the village, and that's why he tried to prevent Zhang Yi from attacking. However, the new village leader emphasized that he is now the leader of Juklan, so every decision must be approved by him first. Chun cannot act on his own. The leader stated that he would take steps to ensure the safety of the village, including communicating with Zhang Yi. He sent a message to all the villagers that they were no longer in danger, and many praised his leadership, even saying that he should have been the leader from the start. While praising himself, the leader belittled Chun, who he believed had never received serious attention from women. After Zhang Yi returned home, he told the two women who lived with him about what had happened. Yang Mi thought that it was a very smart move. Meanwhile, Yao Yukir felt that Yang Mi was still afraid and reminded her not to doubt Zhang Yi's ability to defeat anyone. Zhang Yi believed that having a connection with someone like Chun Lei could be useful in the future if new enemies appeared. With the problem resolved, Yao Yukir suggested celebrating. He went to get drinks while Yang Mi cooked. Not long after, Yao Yukir and Yang Mi fell asleep after drinking, while Zhang Yi, who wasn't used to drinking much, was still fine. As the two slept, Zhang Yi felt satisfied. But Yang Mi woke up feeling anxious, sensing that something was wrong. However, she held herself back because Yao Yukir was nearby. The next day, Chun Lei sent a message to Zhang Yi, expressing her boredom and suggesting that they form a 5-person team, each wearing a different color like the Power Rangers. Zhang Yi felt embarrassed and began to doubt the decision to ally with a crazy person like Chun. Zhang Yi was restless because of the many messages Chun sent every day. However, he started to ignore the messages and only gave short replies. Meanwhile, in the park, Yang Mi was busy working diligently. However, Zhang Yi remembered the possibility that their system could be hacked again, a problem that kept bothering him. Inside the room, Yang Mi and Yao Yukir were having a discussion. Yang Mi intended to help Shin, who was confined to a wheelchair. However, Yao Yukir realized that Zhang Yi would not take the risk to help with something that didn't benefit him. To convince Zhang Yi, Yang Mi intended to use her body as a weapon, even though Yao Yukir mocked her, thinking this was just an excuse to seduce Zhang Yi. The two of them became suspicious of each other and exchanged sarcastic remarks. Suddenly, Zhang Yi entered and asked about the commotion in the room. Even though they tried to call it a family matter, Zhang Yi sat between them and stated that there were no more secrets among the three of them. He asked if they were worried about their families, and Yao Yukir revealed that since the snowstorm, he had lost contact with his family and didn't know if they were still alive. Meanwhile, Yang Mi said that her own family had managed to contact her. Zhang Yi asked if Yang Mi was contacted to return to her family, but Yang Mi explained that actually the person who contacted her was in danger and needed help. They are also planning how to convince Zhang Yi to help someone who has nothing to do with them. Although they were hesitant at first, Yang Mi and Yao Yukir still begged Zhang Yi to help because this is the only family they have. Yao Yukir pleaded further and promised to fulfill Zhang Yi's requests if he agreed, including something involving herself and Yang Mi. Zhang Yi made sure if they really agreed, and although embarrassed, both of them nodded. Yang Mi then expressed how sad she felt, seeing Shin confined to a wheelchair in the snow, unable to move freely. Zhang Wei understood that Shin, the 18-year-old girl skilled in technology, meant a lot to them. If that's the case, he also felt that Shin was important to him. Yao Yukir was impressed by Zhang Yi's decision, calling him a kind-hearted person despite his cold appearance. Yang Mi, who felt grateful, approached Zhang Yi and promised to repay his kindness. The next day, after things had heated up, the three of them resumed their discussion. Zhang Yi asked about the girl who was confined to a wheelchair, Shin. Yao Yukir explained that Shin was at Tianqing Academy, the best university in the city, which was home to many geniuses. Zhang Yi was surprised at how someone confined to a wheelchair could survive there for months. Yang Mi explained that the campus had its own market system, so there should be enough supplies for the students living there. Zhang Yi asked why Yang Mi was only trying to contact him now. Yang Mi said that he had tried to contact Shin several times, but the number could not be reached. Yao Yukir joked that maybe Shin had changed his mind and didn't want to ask for help. Zhang Yi then asked about the distance between the academy and their location. It turned out that the academy was more than 22 kilometers away, and because of the snowstorm, it was very likely that the telephone lines were down. Zhang Yi suggested trying to contact them through the internet. They went to the control room and tried to make a call using the best phone available. The call went through, but the connection was poor. They heard loud noises and screams, mentioning that there was something dangerous, followed by terrified screams about a monster. Zhang Yi heard a terrifying sound from the phone that sounded like a ferocious monster. Then the call was disconnected. At first, Zhang Yi thought this rescue mission would be simple. Just go to the location and come back. However, after hearing that sound, he realized there was something very dangerous there and began to doubt his decision to go to that place. Even so, his wife insisted that he not change his mind. Zhang Yi decided to keep moving forward, but he knew he needed help from his subordinates and their powers. With help from Uncle Yu, Chun Lei, and his own firepower, maybe the danger could be minimized. He contacted Chun Lei who accepted the offer because he was feeling bored. While eating, Zhang Yi thought that eating too much could affect his movements. However, he also needed to eat enough to have maximum energy for his powers. Zhang Yi told his wife that for their safety, they would stay on the lower floor of the house. Yang Mi asked why. Meanwhile, Yu Qir already understood her lover's nature and did not question the decision. If anyone invaded their home, he was sure that no one would be able to open the existing door. His wife agreed and gave her support. Meanwhile, Yang Mi hoped she could bring her younger sibling home. Before leaving, Zhang Yi made sure his wife would be safe, because in a dark situation like this, he couldn't be careless, especially with the safety of his loved ones. Chunlei arrived early at the meeting point to avoid being late. Worried about disappointing Zhang Yi, they immediately got into the car because of the cold weather. Zhang Wei explained their mission to save a girl at a distant college. Chunlei asked if the girl was important to Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi replied that the main reason was the girl's computer skills, which were needed to protect Zhang Yi's home from hacker attacks. On their journey, they met Uncle Yu, the third member who arrived on a snow vehicle. Uncle Yu looked healthy and was actively exercising with his wife. Zhang Yi introduced Uncle Yu and Chunlei, explaining their abilities. Uncle Yu is strong and can regenerate, while Chunlei can control snow. Even though they come from different worlds, they will work together on the rescue mission. Uncle Yu was curious and asked about the mission, which Zhang Yi explained as a simple mission to rescue a girl. The main challenge is the possibility of fierce monsters in the destination area. Uncle Yu was surprised and asked about these monsters. Zhang Wei explained that the creature could be an animal that turned into a monster, or a human who transformed into a terrifying being. After that, they set off together toward their destination. At Tianqing Academy, the students were seen gathering in the gymnasium area. There, a rift formed among the students. Some of them were angry and questioned how Xin, who was bound to a wheelchair, could survive for so long while many others had already died. They mentioned that Xin was just a burden, dragging others toward death, and complained about having to protect someone who couldn't move. Some of the other students only focused on how they could survive longer. Meanwhile, some cried over friends who had died. One of the students noticed that Xin didn't show any remorse for the death that had happened, and asked why he was still alive. They felt that Teacher Leon shouldn't protect him anymore, because he was just a burden. Some of the students discussed whether they should sacrifice him if the monster attacked again. However, another student insisted that it was enough that they had protected Xin. The argument was stopped by a student who said that this wasn't the issue, because Teacher Leon would never leave anyone behind, and it was Teacher Leon who had been protecting them all this time. At that moment, a student went over to Xin, who was far away from them. A girl approached Xin coldly, saying that if Teacher Leon wouldn't let her go, then she should just go to hell without burdening the others. The girl cried without responding, while the other students agreed with that opinion and shouted from a distance. Only Xin's best friend defended her and stepped forward, saying that she was the only one who always helped Xin get around, without any help from the others. However, the rich girl replied that Xin's best friend shouldn't speak, because she came from a wealthy family, while her friend was just a poor student who got in because of a scholarship. Xin's best friend argued that everyone has the same rights. However, the rich girl insisted that they would never be equal. She was richer, more powerful, and more important. She said Xin was only valued for her wealthy, influential family, despite being in a wheelchair. The girl argued that Xin should lose her position because she was a burden. Xin's best friend, who kept defending her, was only seen as someone hoping for a reward for supporting Xin. After hearing all those insults, Xin cried. In the middle of the argument, one of the girls from the crowd approached Xin and invited her to be friends, although her intention was more for personal gain after the apocalypse. The argument stopped instantly when a window fell and a giant claw appeared from outside, pulling one of the people out the window with enough force to fit their body into its grasp. The monster was a giant cat licking its prey. Everyone inside screamed and panicked at the horrifying sight while running away. Xin and his best friend were left behind because Xin was trapped in a wheelchair. They tried to get to the door, but the door was locked. The giant cat smashed the window and jumped in, still holding its prey, which was already halfway into its mouth. The cat pulled out its prey's body, leaving only the head, which it ate completely. Meanwhile, it tossed the body aside. The cat then jumped in front of the other students as if to intimidate them. A student pushed Shin forward, causing him to fall helplessly in front of the giant cat. His best friend, who was scared, thought about saving him. But Shin was right in front of the giant cat and was almost its next prey. One of the students, seeing that the cat was distracted, tried to run out while the cat was distracted. However, the cat quickly changed its focus and turned to attack the student. As they tried to crawl back, the cat shifted its attention to another student. Shin's friend tried to help, while the other students realized that the cat was more interested in moving objects. Since Shin seemed to have fallen and wasn't moving, the cat ignored him. The same student shouted again, drawing the attention of the giant cat. In the chaos, everyone ran toward the exit. They glanced back for a moment, seeing the first injured student lying on the ground, begging for help. However, all they could do was run, realizing that for some to survive, others had to become victims. As the students ran away, the injured student remained lying motionless. He revealed that if everything depended on him, everyone would die with him. Meanwhile, the cat turned its attention to the students who were running and began attacking them one by one. As the cat toyed with its prey using its claws, its tail also swept away several other students. The atmosphere grew even more tense with the screams of a student desperately calling for help. Fortunately, their teacher returned. His arrival was enough to draw the attention of the cat monster. The cat monster sensed the threat from the sword the teacher carried. As soon as the teacher tried to attack, the cat simply dodged. It realized that this teacher was more dangerous than the others. The cat finally took one of its fallen prey and ran away. The teacher on guard went to the exit and realized that the cat had really left, leaving big tracks in the snow. The creature couldn't defeat Teacher Lian, suggesting there was something unusual about him. Actually, if Teacher Lian had stayed in the gym, they wouldn't have been at risk of being attacked. However, Teacher Lian had to go out to look for food, and the mutant cat took advantage of that to attack. Among the victims and the injured, the student who previously argued with Shin returned, complaining about why the girl confined to the wheelchair survived the attack. Every time the girl cries, "How could this happen?" Another student tried to calm her down, saying it's okay because Teacher Lian had brought food and the cat was already gone. The teacher, tired of the arguments and having to go out to find food, did not interfere. He said as long as they didn't kill each other, he wouldn't get involved, just let them fight. Another female student, desperate, screamed, feeling like the world had ended and there was no hope left, that they were all going to die. However, another student insisted that there was still hope. He assured them that his father was the leader of a big company and would definitely come to save them. Zhang Yi and his partner finally arrived near the rescue location. However, everything seemed to be covered in thick snow. They had difficulty finding the exact location of the academy because almost everything was buried. Their attempt to contact the girl they were looking for failed because there was no signal, so they had to find another way. Zhang Yi thought about splitting the team to speed up the search, but considering there were monsters outside, they decided to stay together for safety. After continuing their journey, they found a building that wasn't covered in snow. Based on the GPS, the building was the campus astronomy center, while the dormitory and cafeteria were located to the north. However, to get inside, they had to face the risk of the ice structure collapsing, which was very dangerous. Before Zhang Yi could stop him, Chunlei had already tried to enter, but his large body made it impossible for him to get in. As they arrived, Zhang Yi saw something approaching. When he pointed his weapon, he realized that it was a giant cat. Even though the weapon was pointed at it, the monster didn't attack right away, which made Zhang Yi think that maybe the creature had the ability to think. After returning, Uncle Yu and Chunlei immediately attacked the creature. In response, the giant cat became even more aggressive and fought back against them. Since there was no other choice, Zhang Yi decided to join the fight. Using his physical enhancement ability, he jumped over the creature and shot it in the head. Even though it was shot, the cat kept advancing. Uncle Yu, who was standing to protect Chunlei, used his physical strength to deliver a powerful blow to the cat's head. The blow was so strong that it shattered the ice structure beneath them and forced the creature to retreat. Zhang Yi, who was observing the situation, was surprised to see the toughness of the creature. He then used a more powerful precision rifle and shot the cat's face, injuring it. Angry, the cat turned into a fur ball and rolled toward him. In his fear, Zhang Yi thought that the only way to avoid the attack was to put the creature into his dimensional storage space. The creature moved very quickly, making the plan to trap it in the dimensional storage space almost succeed. However, the cat felt threatened, changed direction, and ran away to Snow Mountain. With a loud sound, the creature disappeared, then reappeared in the distance, growling angrily. The creature turned its back on them, as if mocking, then left. Uncle Yu and Chun Lei were amazed, feeling that the creature seemed to be taunting them with its behavior. They were confused about how the cat could be that big and dig tunnels so quickly. Chun Lei was worried that if the cat hunted like this, no one would survive at the school. Zhang Yi remembered that when he first approached, the creature was not aggressive and didn't seem to intend to attack. It only became fierce after being attacked by Chun and Uncle Yu. Zhang Yi concluded that the cat had mutated, grown large, and possessed high intelligence. The creature seemed to be aware of its actions. They examined the tunnel dug by the creature and decided to follow it. The tunnel would likely lead them to a place where the cat could hunt more easily. At the bottom of the hole, there were branches and other tunnels whose directions were unknown. They were worried about getting lost, so Zhang Yi marked the path with a tool from his dimensional storage. They smelled blood and decided to follow the trail. Zhang Yi, just to be safe, took out a weapon from his storage, a weapon considered to be very effective. Uncle Yu, a veteran, appreciated the weapon and led the way with his experience as the group leader. Meanwhile, inside the gymnasium, their teacher remained on guard, even though he was utterly exhausted after several days without sleep. The teacher kept searching for food for the students who were running out of supplies. The children complained and asked the teacher to look for food again soon. The teacher hesitated, considering whether he should go out now at the risk of encountering the creature, or wait and face even greater danger. A student suggested that the teacher should leave immediately and return quickly with food. Teacher Leon almost lost his patience, but he was still able to control himself. He decided to go out again to look for food. After that, they closed the door and became isolated again inside the gym. Outside, Teacher Leon thought that if he encountered the cat, he would fight to the death alongside the students. Meanwhile, inside the gym, Karen asked Shin if he was okay, to which he replied that he was fine thanks to his friend's help. However, the rich and arrogant student criticized Shin again, saying that he was once again a burden to his friend and never got tired of being useless. Karen responded by reminding him that he had pushed Shin earlier when the cat attacked, and that he should apologize. Before the argument escalated, the cat appeared again at the gym window. Only its huge claws could be seen coming in and crushing a student. The student who had previously claimed he could save everyone ran and pushed one of his friends back into the gym. In the next attack, the cat crushed another student's body. While the desperate students tried to escape, Teacher Leon returned to the gym and now had a chance to fight the cat. Teacher Leon chose to attack the giant cat's head. After being injured, they engaged in a fierce battle in front of the students. In the midst of the chaotic battle, Zhang Yi and his two companions arrived through the tunnel and witnessed the event. The teacher, realizing their arrival, felt hopeful and asked for help to fight the monster. Chun was ready to attack. However, Zhang Yi stopped him because he thought the woman was very skilled and able to hold off the cat with just one sword. The woman was likely also a mutant with special powers, and at this point, it was difficult to determine whether she was an ally or an enemy. They chose not to get involved and looked for another way to the gym. They left the tunnel and managed to get in through the gym entrance. After heading toward the students, Zhang Yi immediately recognized Shin by her wheelchair and red hair. He felt lucky that Shin was still alive. However, before he could approach her, a boy stopped him and asked if he was from the West Mountain base and a friend of his father. Zhang Yi, seriously, asked about the place. The boy introduced himself as Sheng Yu, the class representative from a noble family, hoping Zhang Yi would recognize him. Zhang Yi just nodded and wanted to know more about the West Mountain base. The clever boy asked, if they came from another base, why were they asking about the West Mountain base, since that base was closer from here? This made Zhang Yi think that there might be another base around this place. He then asked the boy about information on other bases besides the West Mountain base. However, the boy only knew a little, which was that his father mentioned the existence of several shelters. Ignoring the boy, Zhang Yi approached Xin. The other students, who were surprised, tried to talk to Uncle Yu and Chun Chun Lei, curious about what was being discussed. Zhang Yi finally reached Xin and made sure he was okay, then introduced himself as Zhang Yi, who knew his older sister, Yang Mi, very well. Yang Mi asked him to come and save Xin and asked if Xin was willing to go with him. Without much thought, Xin agreed. Zhang Yi then got ready to pull his wheelchair to take him away. However, before leaving, Xin asked Zhang Yi to stop the fight between Teacher Li and the cat. Zhang Yi realized that this was an opportunity to make Xin owe him a favor. He then called Chun and Uncle Yu to carry out the task. On the way to the location of the fight, Zhang Yi saw scattered cat claws and decided to store them in his dimensional storage. Upon arriving there, Chun used his power to bring down the sky, separating Teacher Yan and the cat from the battle. Although successful, it made Teacher Li Yan very angry because he didn't want the battle to be stopped. He only wanted help to defeat the creature. Zhang Yi said ironically that Teacher Yan should be grateful. However, Teacher Li Yan was angry and drew his sword, saying that it was the first time he had managed to suppress the creature, and the three of them ended up ruining it. He might not get another chance. Zhang Wei explained that he only wanted to help, not to kill the creature, and that he acted because one of the teacher's students asked him to. Angry, Teacher Li Yan cursed Zhang Yi and attacked him. Confidently, Zhang Yi jumped back and shot him right in the forehead with a desert eagle. However, what was unexpected was that Teacher Yan was able to cut the bullet with his sword. He was stronger than Zhang Yi had anticipated. When Teacher Li Yan was about to attack him, Zhang Yi used the power of dimensional space and sucked the woman into his own dimension. After the woman was completely sucked in, Zhang Yi retreated cautiously and warned everyone not to come any closer. After a few seconds that felt extremely dangerous, Zhang Yi spat the woman back out from his dimensional storage and mocked her for attacking someone who had helped her. He said that Teacher Yan was very dangerous and reckless. Zhang Yi then took his sword, deciding to keep it for a while because a sword that could cut bullets was very valuable. When Teacher Li Yan asked for his sword back, Zhang Yi refused. He asked a student to help their teacher rest because he looked very exhausted. After that, Zhang Yi explained to everyone that he came only to take Xin. The teacher asked why he didn't take all the other students as well. The students around Zhang Yi offered money, saying that they all came from wealthy families and were ready to pay anything if he could escort them out safely. Zhang Yi repeated that he couldn't take responsibility for such important people as them. If their families were wealthy, surely they would send someone to rescue them. An angry student took action against Xin by taking Xin hostage with the help of several other students. They threatened to kill Xin if they were not included. The teacher who witnessed it felt afraid and tried to remind them about the dangers outside. But the students remained stubborn. Zhang Yi, who lost his patience, shot and killed all of Xin's captors. Teacher Lian was shocked by the action. He couldn't believe Zhang Yi could act so cruelly. Zhang Wei emphasized that anyone who dares to take hostages must be ready to face the consequences. What surprised him was only Xin's calm attitude, who didn't show any fear at all. After making sure Xin was all right, Zhang Yi asked if they could leave. Xin agreed, but asked that Karen, her best friend, come along. Zhang Yi was hesitant to take care of one more person, but Xin explained that Karen was very smart and useful. Karen was one of the scholarship students at the academy, an expert in mechanics and engineering, who was able to build and repair various things. Zhang Yi agreed to bring Karen after being convinced of her abilities, and Karen offered to help her friend during the journey. Several other students tried to pitch their skills, such as driving a car or managing money, in order to join. A student blamed Zhang Yi for Teacher Lian's lost opportunity to face the creature and warned of the danger if the monster returned. But Zhang Yi ignored him. Xin had a chance to thank Teacher Lian before Zhang Yi decided to take only Xin and Karen. Teacher Lian told all the students to follow Zhang Yi's group, even though Zhang Yi was confident he could destroy them if necessary. Outside, Zhang Yi showed his power by taking out a car and a snowmobile from his dimensional warehouse, then left, leaving the other students confused. At that moment, a wealthy student noticed his phone had a signal and tried to contact his father. Zhang Yi and the two girls continued their journey in the comfortable car, enjoying the warmth after being outside for so long. Zhang Yi took out water and food from his storage space to recharge their energy. Xin and Karen felt grateful and praised Zhang Yi. However, he instead praised Xin. Xin felt confused by the compliment because she felt that she was only a burden to others, and if it weren't for Karen's protection, she might not be alive anymore. Zhang Wei emphasized that what she said was not true. According to him, Xin's success in surviving in a wheelchair all this time was not due to luck, but because of her intelligence and a secret she possessed. Karen felt confused and didn't understand what was being talked about. Zhang Yi realized Xin's intelligence in understanding the situation, especially regarding that monster. Xin admitted that she once took care of a stray cat named Blossom before the snow disaster. The cat, which has now become a monster, did not attack Xin and Karen because of the good care given before. Karen was surprised to find out that the monster was the cat they used to feed. Zhang Yi was curious whether the cat was just grateful to Xin or if there was another reason, because the cat never attacked them even though it attacked the other students. Xin explained that he forbade the cat from attacking outsiders who came to save him. However, the cat still preyed on the students who became its food. Zhang Yi, who shared the same thoughts as Xin, only cared about the safety of Xin and Karen, believing that in this cruel world, only those who are valuable can survive. On the way, Zhang Yi asked why Xin only contacted his sister after such a long time. Xin revealed that his purpose in contacting his sister was for Zhang Yi's sake. As the best hacker, he had already investigated the theft at the city warehouse, even before the snow disaster. After the disaster, he suspected that Stock was the main perpetrator, and the latest information strengthened his theory. By using his sister's cell phone, he devised a way to call Zhang Yi to save him. Xin admitted to knowing everything Zhang Yi did before and after the disaster, and had been monitoring his movements since the news of the city warehouse robbery spread. If Zhang Yi didn't come through his contact with Yang Mi, he had another way to get Zhang Yi's attention. However, he felt grateful that Zhang Yi came on his own. This confession surprised Zhang Yi and made him even more wary of Xin. In addition, he began to suspect the presence of Blossom the cat, who had been following their car since they left. Zhang Yi thought that taming the mutant cat could make him stronger. Meanwhile, Xin and Karen kept watching the cat from the car window. After arriving at the shelter, they were greeted by Chun Lei and his uncle. Zhang Yi rewarded both of them before suggesting that they return to their respective homes. Zhang Yi then returned home to a warm atmosphere that made Xin and Karen feel comfortable. Zhang Wei explained that as long as they were obedient and helpful, he would treat them well. Xin felt awkward and asked about other tasks, which surprised Zhang Yi. He emphasized that Xin should focus on being a digital expert. Although Zhang Yi found Xin adorable, he already had Yao Yukir and Yang Mi. Xin began to wonder if he was being rejected because of his limitations. The conversation stopped when Yao Yukir and Yang Mi arrived. Yang Mi looked very worried about her sister. Xin reassured her by saying that she was fine and just wanted to meet because she knew Yang Mi was with Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi watched the two sisters. Each had a different charm: Yang Mi's beauty and Xin's intelligence. Xin's statement caught Yao Yukir's attention, who was curious about how she knew about Zhang Yi. Xin explained why she was there and introduced Karen, her best friend, who was a mechanical expert at school. Yang Mi thought Xin was very adorable. The head of the house told Yang Mi to prepare dinner and rooms for the two girls. At dinner, they enjoyed delicious food after months of hardship. Zhang Yi asked Karen to help around the house, not with regular chores, but to make weapons and ammunition. Karen explained that she needed the right materials and machines. Zhang Yi felt satisfied and took Karen to see some machinery he had kept. Karen mentioned the machines and materials she needed. Zhang Yi offered to help provide them. However, Karen was confident she could organize things herself. As a test, Zhang Yi took Teacher Lian's sword from his dimensional warehouse and handed it to Karen for evaluation. Karen was very impressed with the quality of the sword and felt honored to hold it. Karen explained that the sword Zhang Yi brought was an invaluable ancient relic and could not be replicated. The sword was so sharp that it could cut through diamonds. This sword was given to Miss Lian as a reward for her service, and she valued it more than her own life. This information gave Zhang Yi a new idea. After that, they continued with dinner and discussed Karen's contributions at home. After finishing their meal, they watched the news. The report revealed that the coal disaster had no end in sight, with most of the world's population already gone. Anarchy began to spread, laws no longer applied, and power became the deciding factor for everything. Armed groups and military organizations started seizing territories and resources. Xin felt jealous seeing Zhang Yi getting close to another girl. Meanwhile, Zhang Yi realized that armed groups and military organizations would become a major threat in the struggle for resources in the future. Xin agreed that a major war to seize territory and resources would soon happen, and their place would become a potential target. Zhang Yi took him to the control room with full access to the internet. In a short time, Xin mastered the system and found outdated security loopholes. He explained that although this system used to be advanced, it can now be exploited by hackers. Several hacking attempts have occurred in the past few weeks, and within a month, the attackers could take over the system. Xin quickly closed all those loopholes and began hacking back into the attackers' network without leaving a trace. Zhang Yi felt lucky to have brought him along. However, the situation changed when Yu Qir informed them that the giant monster, the big cat, had already arrived at the front door. Zhang Yi asked Xin to come up with a solution for the situation. Believing that the cat wanted to protect Xin, Zhang Yi decided to subdue it. He took Xin out of the security room, calmed the girls, and approached the window where the cat was. The cat looked calm, but became threatening when Zhang Yi got too close. Zhang Yi tried to entice the cat with food from his dimensional storage, but the cat refused. Xin reminded him that stray cats are very suspicious of strangers. Finally, Zhang Yi offered a deal. If the cat promised not to attack the village and only eat food, not humans, it would be given the food. The cat agreed, and Zhang Yi returned home with Xin. When they arrived home, Yu Qir was surprised to see that the little cat had shrunk. The big cat did not undergo a mutation, but instead had the ability to grow and shrink at will. This explains how the cat was able to eat several students. Because when it eats, it will shrink. The cat's ability to disappear and go undetected, even by teacher Lian, is also related to this ability. Zhang Yi saw that the cat was injured from the battle. However, the cat seemed indifferent. Zhang Yi planned to give it medicine to gain the cat's trust. That night, the two girls slept comfortably. Karen felt like she was dreaming, because that morning they were hungry and cold, while tonight they were in a warm place with enough food and sleeping comfortably. Xin felt safe being by Zhang Yi's side, who was very smart and resourceful. They discussed ways to strengthen their weapons and defenses. Meanwhile, on campus, a wealthy student managed to contact his father. However, most of them couldn't reach their families. It's possible that their families didn't survive. At least, that monster cat didn't attack again. The young man asked his father to save everyone. After waiting for several hours, they heard a sound from outside. They went out and saw a carriage pulled by wolves, with a group of soldiers wearing cold weather gear. The teacher recognized them as trained soldiers. The boy asked if they came under his father's orders. One of the soldiers took off his helmet, and it turned out to be the boy's father. The boy was surprised to see his father's physical changes, looking thin and tired. He hugged his father and asked why he was late in coming to save him. Before his father could explain, the soldiers asked about the supplies at the school, because they knew a lot of supplies were stored there. The boy told them about the frozen school market and mentioned a giant monster lurking there. The soldiers didn't think it was a problem and prepared to defeat the monster. However, the boy handed over the responsibility to his teacher. The teacher agreed to lead them to the supplies. The soldiers went to the supply area, came back, and asked the students to help carry the goods. Everyone immediately obeyed the soldiers' orders. After struggling hard, the students finally managed to carry all the supply boxes from the market. The wealthy student among them boasted, claiming it was his father who saved everyone. However, after the supplies were brought in, the soldiers left them. The students felt scared and asked how they would be taken to the base. The soldiers mentioned that they would run. However, some students complained because there was no transportation. They also reminded them that the distance to the base was more than 10 kilometers. The soldiers warned that anyone who complained would be punished as a deserter. The students were asked to be quiet and follow as best as they could. The teacher gave chocolate to the exhausted students, and the journey continued until nightfall. They arrived at the base at the foot of the mountain and were ordered to go inside, down the stairs. The base was large and sophisticated, but empty. The teacher tried to calm the students. Not long after, a group of soldiers arrived wearing protective suits and sprayed gas at them. A fat woman then introduced herself and explained that this was a disinfection procedure to prevent the spread of disease in the base. After a series of tests, including disinfection, blood tests, and stool tests, the students were given delicious white yogurt. They enjoyed it together. Sometime later, the woman leading the process asked about the boy who was with them. His father, unafraid, confirmed that it was his son. The woman ordered her team to take them to the appropriate place, but told the boy to go somewhere else. The boy told his friends that he was different and important thanks to his father, who warned him not to break the rules. The boy was taken to the place the woman meant. Upon arriving there, the fat woman asked the boy to take a bath. He did so because it had been 3 months since he last bathed. After coming out of the bathroom with only a towel, he was surprised to see the fat woman already in front of him, grabbing his hand and throwing him onto the bed. After some time, the students were taken to another place to put on their work uniforms. They were placed in an area with large bicycles and giant gears that had to be pedaled to generate energy. They were told that working all day was a requirement to get food and a warm bed. This work was vital to provide energy for the entire base. If they didn't work, they wouldn't get any food. The students felt pressured and couldn't believe that those who were once considered important now had to work so hard. They panicked and begged their teacher to save them. However, the leader of that place said they could cry while working. Their teacher calmed them down, reminding them to keep working, and they obeyed the orders to get protection and food. In the room of students considered more fortunate, he felt devastated. After finishing his task, his father waited for him and asked if everything went well. The big woman in charge said the boy was just like his father, hard-working. The woman hoped the boy would keep working hard for the prosperity of the base. The boy lay down, still struggling to believe what had just happened. His father checked on him and made sure nothing would break. Crying, the boy asked why his father hadn't told him before about the real way to survive. He also wanted to know about his father's job. His father explained that everything changed after the snowstorm came. Mutants with powers appeared, and the hierarchy changed. Those with powers became more important, while those with low political positions lost their place. To survive, his father had to work hard. The same went for his son, who had to take his place and work hard with the big woman who had just left. After a day of pedaling bicycles, the students returned to the dormitory with sore bodies. They asked Teacher Lian if they had to work like that every day. Their teacher replied that they had to work and shouldn't complain, because this is the way of life in the real world. However, they were not ordinary people, but elites. They wondered why important people like them also had to work and suffer. They hoped Teacher Lian could find a way so they wouldn't have to work. The boy who was considered the most influential arrived looking sad. When they asked if he could change the situation, he replied that the conditions here were not as he had imagined. Now, all they can do is follow orders, because everyone has their own duties. The students held a meeting, and a boy explained that they could only rely on themselves. Teacher Lian realized that his position as a teacher no longer meant anything, but as an experienced fighter and a powerful mutant, he was still valued. The boy explained that this base was managed by Chen Xinyuan, the most powerful person in the base. In this base, there are 4 levels. The first level is inhabited by the leader and his family, who live comfortably. The second level is inhabited by technicians and scientists. The third level is inhabited by mutants with powers. Meanwhile, the 4th level is inhabited by those who work hard to produce energy and live in misery. The frightened boy explained that he would not rebel. The supervisors on the 3rd level maintain strict security, and they will eliminate anyone who resists. One of the students got angry and blamed the boy for the unfulfilled promise. The boy mentioned that they would be better off staying on campus and dying from the giant cat or from starvation. He then said that the only way to fix the situation was with Teacher Lian's help. The students begged Teacher Lian to help improve their lives. After seeing the injustice, Teacher Lian felt tired and decided to rest, so he would be ready to work again the next day. The next day, everyone woke up and lined up for work. The supervisor announced that it was the day to give thanks to their savior, Chen Xinyuan. Periodically, all base personnel were gathered to pay tribute to the savior who protected the place. Meanwhile, Teacher Lian realized that brainwashing was taking place. Everyone was asked to step forward, state their name, what they liked, and express their gratitude. During the morning assembly, the students were given porridge. Teacher Lian saw that they were starting to mingle and looked happier. The leader's secretary entered the room, called Teacher Lian's name, and asked him to follow. Teacher Lian left. Meanwhile, the students thought this was part of a plan to improve their situation. The secretary signaled for the students to return to their seats. Teacher Lian was treated with respect. Then they walked to the office of the supreme leader, who welcomed him respectfully and invited him to sit. The leader explained his plan for the base. Meanwhile, Teacher Lian listened attentively. The secretary then escorted Teacher Lian to his new residence on the second floor, where he was appointed as a military officer because of his awakened power. On the other hand, the most luxurious residence belonged to Zhang Yi. After trying hard, he finally managed to gain Kuqing's trust by giving him the best food. Kuqing, who initially ignored him, began to approach and enter the house. Kuqing marked his territory by tearing up the expensive sofa. However, Zhang Yi accepted it without complaint. Yao Yukir felt relieved because Kuqing was not a woman. After everything was done, Kuqing slept on the comfy chair. Meanwhile, Zhang Yi tried to pet him, but was rejected. Zhang Yi managed to gain Kuqing's trust after a lot of effort. Yang Mi often took baths together with Kuqing. Meanwhile, Yao Yukir and the other girls also started to get closer to him. Xin, with his hacking skills, found the source of the communication that was trying to hack the home security system. He tracked it easily without being detected. It turned out that the conversation came from the base where his teacher was, and they were planning to attack the residence. The confident protagonist decided to destroy his enemies without fear. He then approached Karen, who told him that she had made a silencer for Zhang Yi's rifle. With that addition, the previously loud rifle could now be used more quietly. Zhang Yi sat next to the girl and put his hand on her shoulder. He asked about making grenades and landmines. The girl was a bit confused, thinking Zhang Yi was underestimating her abilities, even though making them wasn't difficult. She explained that making weapons like that had been done since medieval times, and she could do it with her eyes closed if she had the right materials. Zhang Wei explained that enemies with mutant powers could attack their base. Although the girl was worried, Zhang Yi assured her that he could protect everyone. Zhang Wei expressed special feelings toward the girl, considering her like a sister who must be protected. Those words made the girl sad, realizing that there was no chance for anything more. Zhang Yi wiped her face and promised to provide a safe life as long as she worked for him. The girl regained her spirit and was ready to do anything for him without limits. Zhang Yi left her to work, planning for the girl to be completely loyal to him and to try to gain his approval through her best efforts. He desperately needed weapons to face the new enemy. Zhang Yi contacted Chun and Uncle Yu to inform them about the threat from the large base. He warned them not to reveal their special abilities. Zhang Yi also stressed that Chun Lei was in greater danger due to his location between Zhang Yi's headquarters and the mysterious military headquarters, making him likely the first target. He stressed that if Chun was in danger, he should come immediately because someone with extraordinary abilities like Chun should not be allowed to die. Meanwhile, Chun felt that his people's farming village would not be attacked because there was no reason for any organization to be interested. At the Western Mountain headquarters, 27 km from Chun's village, a man and a girl were preparing to investigate the area around Zhang Yi's headquarters. The girl predicted that the snowstorm would last a long time, perhaps as God's final act to erase the sins of the world. They continued their journey by sled, avoiding the frozen river near Zhang Yi's headquarters. Upon arriving at Chun's village, the two were impressed by the large ice castle in the village. They were introduced as government envoys, and the village leader welcomed them, instructing the villagers to treat them well. Despite the villagers' doubts, the village leader assured them that an alliance with the military was more important than the food they had. He held a banquet and explained that the snow castle and the village's food production were thanks to his leadership. A follower doubted him, thinking that the leader was merely continuing the efforts of the previous leader. When asked about food production, the village leader initially explained that even though a snowstorm hit, they managed to maintain their farming. However, he then changed his explanation, mentioning a decrease in food production. The village leader talked about the ice construction he ordered, which could benefit the government if he became their ally. He ordered more food to be sent below. This further convinced the woman that the village leader was hiding something that could be exploited by the mountain base. When asked about when this snowstorm would end, the woman said that the government had a big plan to deal with the weather problem. The village leader and his followers were interested. However, the woman also asked if they noticed any changes among the villagers. The village leader pretended not to know, considering not revealing Chun's identity as a mutant, although he asked for the woman's phone number to report any information if there was any. The village leader, who was afraid, revealed that he was hiding information about Zhang Yi, someone who lived across the river. The name Zhang Yi caught the woman's attention because he was the target of their investigation. The village leader told how Zhang Yi wiped out half the village after they tried to steal food from him. Everyone who knew what Zhang Yi looked like or what powers he had died in that attack. However, the woman did not obtain any further information about Zhang Yi's face or abilities. After the conversation, the two of them decided to leave the village and report back to the base. The woman reported that they had found a village with plenty of food that would be useful for the future. Although the man questioned the lies they told, the woman was not worried, because her goal was to receive special treatment and obtain the necessary information. The two people arrived at Zhang Yi's residence in a gated area across the river. The large house, filled with supplies and well-heated, made them believe that Zhang Yi was an extraordinary person. The woman suspected that Zhang Yi was involved in the supply theft they had heard about. They prepared to investigate. The man, with his ability to jump far, brought the woman into the enemy's property. The house was luxurious and well-maintained. However, the woman managed to enter undetected. As they walked through the house, the atmosphere felt unusual and much more comfortable than their life at the base. Feeling unsafe, the woman left a knife as a sign and decided to seek help, suggesting they return with additional troops. The woman realized that Zhang Yi was much more prepared. His house was very safe and comfortable, even better than the elite facilities at the mountain base. Zhang Yi definitely had unknown power and resources. His abilities were not suited for combat, and being detected would be fatal. They left immediately. Meanwhile, in Zhang Yi's room, his cat woke up. It sensed something strange. Zhang Yi got up, grabbed a weapon, and checked his phone. There were no records in the security system. However, after the cat kept pushing to go out, he opened the door and found a knife that had been left behind. Realizing the threat, Zhang Yi reviewed security footage and saw someone with special abilities had entered. He was angry, knowing that this very secure place had been breached, threatening his safety. With protective gear, he checked the cameras and realized they had just left. Two people rode a snowmobile toward the base to deliver important information. The woman revealed her suspicion that Zhang Yi had stolen from the Walmart warehouse. They suspected he had the ability to hide and access items by opening another dimension. If true, this would be the most powerful ability there is. They hoped to receive a big reward. However, their excitement was cut short when a projectile pierced the woman's head. The surviving soldier panicked, but quickly regained control of the situation, though they were confused when a large ball of fur rolled toward them. The man protected his partner, dodging an attack that nearly hit them. The trail of destruction showed the monster's power. The mutant cat failed to attack, but then struck again with its claws. When the mutant cat bit the soldier's arm, Zhang Yi shot the soldier in the head with precision. Both intruders now lay in the snow, and the mutant cat seemed to want to say something. Zhang Yi was confused, but realized it was like absorbing energy from the woman into its body. Pleased with the result, Zhang Yi kissed the mutant cat and stored the woman's body in his storage space. Zhang Yi was at home when Xin told him that everything he had requested was ready. From the slain intruders' equipment, Xin learned they were from the Shixian headquarters, 27 kilometers away in the mountains. The underground headquarters was divided into 4 layers, inhabited by military forces and people with special abilities. Zhang Yi appreciated Xin's abilities even more. Yao Yuqier then arrived with an important discovery. In the examination room, he explained that the woman's brain cells were different from normal humans, while the man had an artificial leg muscle mutation. Knowing this fact, Zhang Yi became curious about the power he absorbed from them. Zhang Yi then went underground to test his new power. He was able to accelerate his arrow attacks beyond the speed of sound. Zhang Yi was pleased that his power kept increasing. Meanwhile, at the military base, the agent investigating Zhang Yi's territory contacted them with an emergency call. The army leader requested additional support, but was denied and had to ask for permission from the headquarters leader. The secretary blocked the door, saying the leader was busy with important matters. After meeting with the young girl who praised him, the leader listened to the army's report. He agreed to send additional low-ranking troops as he considered the matter not important enough. The secretary then informed that troops would be sent. On the way back, teacher Lian was confused to see his students on the first floor and asked about it. The two mischievous girls admitted to having special abilities and shared their experiences with the leader. Teacher Lian felt disappointed with his students, who seemed aware that their situation was embarrassing. One of them explained that they had to return to the dormitory on the second floor immediately after serving the leader. Before leaving, teacher Lian asked about the other students who were not present. They replied that many students were separated while teacher Lian was away and never returned. One of the students cried, believing that their friends might already be dead, and that everything they did was just to survive. This confession shocked teacher Lian. It made him suspicious of something hidden. Returning to the fourth layer, teacher Lian met a student who showed him the location of the missing students below. There, he saw scientists carrying large bags, which according to the student contained the victims of failed experiments. The student spoke up because his friends started disappearing, while his father ordered him not to ask anything. Teacher Lian then acted discreetly. He incapacitated a scientist and disguised himself using the scientist's special uniform. The disguise allowed him to enter the restricted area, where he witnessed human bodies being used in energy experiments and discarded like trash. There, the bodies were ground into a white paste. The scientist talked about the taste for the next meal on the fourth layer, referring to the paste as delicious and nutritious yogurt. They ate without feeling guilty because they didn't know the main ingredient. Teacher Lian felt nauseous after finding out that the food he ate was made from humans, namely the students. That situation changed his view of this place, which he considered a hell full of injustice, especially for the weak on the fourth floor. He decided to find a way to save his students and get out, but was confused about where to go, because outside their base, they could die from cold and hunger. On the other hand, the troops sent as reinforcements arrived in front of Zhang Yi's house. One of the soldiers got caught in a trap, and his body was cut into pieces in the snow. The angry captain was convinced that the culprit was someone from that base. Explosions and gunfire made Zhang Yi realize that the attack had begun. He immediately activated the new force field shield created by Karen, looking at the result with satisfaction. Realizing that a new enemy had arrived, the soldiers searched for and deactivated traps hidden in the snow. It was a tactic also used by Chun Village. Zhang Yi activated the remote explosives and more soldiers fell. The angry captain was told that they didn't know what they were up against. Many casualties occurred because of the traps. They suggested asking for more help, but the captain refused and chose to keep moving forward despite the risks. Yang Mi was worried there might be a gap in the defense system. But Zhang Yi trusted Karen and Shin's work, convinced there were no security gaps. When asked why Zhang Yi didn't attack them, Zhang Yi replied that he wanted to test their abilities. The soldiers finally realized that this shelter was built to protect Zhang Yi. The captain planned to use explosives to open a path to the house. A soldier managed to sneak in and place the explosives. Meanwhile, Zhang Yi watched calmly. Then he said it was time for them to learn to face the enemy. The man escaped from the house before the explosives were activated. The explosion only created a small hole that melted the surrounding snow. Investigation showed that the shelter wall was completely unscathed. They concluded that the only alternative was to dig a tunnel, since the top could not be destroyed. They finally gave up on capturing Zhang Yi alive, and the order was given to the sniper to eliminate the target. Zhang Yi, who kept observing from the window, was unfazed when the bullet missed and the very strong window glass remained intact. Zhang Yi was disappointed by the mutant abilities at the West Mountain military base, and the soldiers noticed his reaction. The captain accepted that this mission was impossible and ordered his troops to retreat. When Zhang Yi saw them retreating, he started shooting at them. The soldiers fired back because Zhang Yi now appeared exposed, but it turned out this was part of his strategy. Zhang Yi absorbed the bullets into his alternate dimension and reflected them back at them, killing many soldiers quickly. The captain finally decided to stop the attack and ordered everyone to retreat. He called Zhang Yi a mutant demon with powers that were too mysterious. As they were fleeing, one of the soldiers was shot in the leg and couldn't continue running away. His comrade hid behind a pile of snow and used a smoke grenade to block Zhang Yi's view. However, Zhang Yi, who had previously absorbed snow from the avalanche, threw it toward those hiding behind the smoke, wiping out almost the entire squad.